Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge has received the Android 7.0 Nougat update. So what I figured was I'd throw my SIM card back in the device, use it as my daily driver, and then also revisit it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about specific things in terms of reusing this device with the update, see how the update has affected some performance, some battery life, and other things as well. And of course, the Galaxy S8 announcement is coming up pretty soon, so that would mean price drops in the S7 and S7 Edge. So kind of want to discuss if it would be worth it to pick this up and just hold off and not buy the S8, or if you should probably wait for the S8. Now, I do want to make a note. I asked you guys on Twitter, and it seemed overwhelming that you guys wanted me to revisit the S7 Edge variant as opposed to the S7 variant. Let's get started. Now, to begin, I want to talk about the design of the Galaxy S7 Edge and just kind of how it's held up. First of all, I do still really like the Edge display. Hopefully the S8 has it as well. It's a little bit more difficult to hold with the thin sides, except the aesthetics on it are very nice, just the way that things spill off the page and curl around the device. I do really like it personally. Now, with that being said, I want to go ahead and talk about the back of the device, because as you can see, there's a bit of a crack in it because I did drop it. I probably dropped it on concrete from about 6 feet up. You can see it has a little crack in that bottom left corner on the back, and then also if I can get the light to hit it, there's a bit of a scratch that's on the back as well. So really, very minimal damage. This doesn't come into effect at all. Obviously, I don't really look at the back of the device too often, and I hold it like this, so I don't even feel it. It's very minimal in terms of what you can feel, but it did happen, so just kind of keep that in mind. Now, next up is that always-on display, and they've added more apps to it, so to speak. So you'll see you have a bunch of notifications right here if you'd like to view one of them. So if I want to open Instagram, I can double tap on the Instagram notification, and of course it'll open if you don't have a lock screen set, but I have my fingerprint unlock set. There you go. It went ahead and jumped straight into Instagram. Another very nice feature of the always-on display is music controls. So you'll see here I have Cool by Alesso playing on Spotify. I can double tap on it, and then if I double tap the play button, it will start playing it. I have it on mute right now. Or if I double tap that, or I can double tap the skip button or the back button, and it's going to go ahead and use music controls without even turning on your display, at least in terms of just using the always-on display. Next up would be battery life. So let's go ahead and talk about it. On my review of the S7 Edge, back when it first came out, I said 4 hours and 40 minutes was about the average screen on time I got in terms of battery life, and I had no trouble getting through the day. Here's some screenshots recently. You'll see this day was very poor, 3 hours and 19 minutes. This one's 4 hours and 8 minutes. And I do have to say, battery life did take a hit after the Nougat update. And it seems like that seems pretty consistent in terms of other users' reviews as well. I would say the average screen on time I got was probably somewhere around 4 hours and 20 minutes. So it is definitely worse at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate because I do struggle to get through the day now, just on certain occasions if I use it a lot, whereas before I really never struggled, and it's pretty inconsistent now. You'll see that 3 hours and 19 minutes isn't very good, so it's more inconsistent and a little bit worse. Next up would be the camera app, and it's still one of my favorite cell phone cameras out there. And I would say picture quality really didn't get any better or worse in terms of after the Nougat update. However, the app definitely got way more refined, a little more clean. You'll see the settings buttons right there to open up your settings. However, to swap between modes, you can quickly swipe over to get to your Pro mode, which is there in a nice little addition. And then, of course, if I want to swipe back, I can go to Auto. And then if I swipe to the right is where your filters pop up. So it is fairly easy to actually use, and it's not nearly as cluttered as it was on Marshmallow. Now let's go ahead and talk about performance. And right now I have an app installing right here. So it's downloading the app, installing it, and you'll see I tap the app drawer. Things are going a little bit slow, and I've noticed in terms of speed of things are just overall a little bit more slow. Animations can be a little bit more jittery. You'll see things are going really slow, and that's very common when I install an app. For whatever reason, it just seems like the Nougat update did not help performance, and that seems like a common thing. You'll see some people on Twitter commenting, thanks for those of you that gave me feedback, are having similar issues with the battery life and speed as well. Seems like the Nougat update really didn't do any favors to this device in terms of speed. Now there's a couple settings that got added that I do like. One of them, both of them actually having to do with the display. The blue light filter setting's pretty nice. You can turn it on now. You can change how much of a I guess yellow tint and less of a blue light that the screen has, or you can schedule one. So sunset to sunrise, custom schedule as well, start time end time. So pretty nice that they added some extra features to that. And then of course you have the option to change your screen resolution, which you might want to do if you're experiencing worse battery life, such as that I am. Bump it down to 1080p. Of course, things won't show up as clear, but you will get a little bit better battery life. And then of course, screen zoom is another really nice added feature. I have it on small. Definitely check it out. Screen zoom, bumping it down to small just adds more things on a screen without having to scroll through them. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of how apps are handled in terms of opening them on the lock screen. You have to tap on them. I do like how it is transparent, and then if you act upon it, it makes it not transparent, but you'll have to go ahead and tap on it, swipe, and then enter your passcode or put your fingerprint down. Or you can, of course, just tap on it and then put your fingerprint down. I'm just not a big fan of it. I kind of wish there was just a double tap motion like there is on stock Android. It's just not very consistent to stock Android. One more small issue I have with the lock screen on stock Android, as you can see I have my Google Pixel right here. If you go ahead and swipe down and act upon one of these quick settings, you'll see I can turn off Bluetooth right there, and there's Bluetooth turned off. I can turn Wi-Fi on if I'd like to. You see I can go ahead and try and connect to a Wi-Fi network. I can turn it on and off just from the lock screen without unlocking it. And you'll see I have a passcode. I have my fingerprint set up as well. But now, if I'm on the S7 Edge, and I would like to act upon one of these quick widgets right here, if I want to uncheck Wi-Fi, I have to actually sign into it. Now, this is a personal preference. You might like that feature, or you might not. I'm just not a fan of it because if I leave my apartment or something, I want to quickly turn off Bluetooth, turn off Wi-Fi. I can just swipe down on the lock screen and do it, whereas on the S7 Edge, you have to unlock it first. And of course, as Samsung's had for a long time, and I really give them credit for it, the multi-window feature has been added to Android 7.0 Nougat. So that is still there. You can go ahead and press and hold on an app and bring it all the way up to open it in split screen. And of course, you can open up another one if you'd like to. You can still change the size in the middle. If you do tap on the middle option, you do have a couple more options where you can flip-flop them or put it in the windowed mode. And windowed mode is really a great feature that Samsung has done well. You'll see it pops out. You can move the specific app overlaying a different app as well. If you minimize it, it comes up as a little bubble, and you can maximize it real quick. You can expand the app or just close out of it as well. Or, of course, you can swipe down from the corner, resize it into that windowed mode, and you can have a bunch of different apps windowed at the same time. So if I want a list of apps here, I can just tap on them and have them all open. So a nice little added feature to that split screen. Now to finish everything off, it has been a bit of a bummer that the battery life took a hit and performance took a hit. So with that being said, I'd kind of hold off on taking advantage of the deals. It's still a very good device, don't get me wrong. I would just kind of say the S8 looks a little bit more appealing. I would assume that with the new Snapdragon 835, it's most likely going to have performance will be less of an issue. And like I said, they really do need to optimize their software a lot better for their hardware. They do have a great processor in the S7 and S7 Edge, and it's just a bit of a bummer that performance is taking a hit after the Nougat update. So if you have an S7 or S7 Edge, let me know how you like it. Leave a link in the description down below. Good news that I did drop it from so high and it only had this little crack as well, so that's a plus. And I do like this coral blue actually. Anyways, go ahead and, like I said, drop a comment if you have one of the devices. Click that thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Click that subscribe button. More coverage to come on the S8 and other devices as well. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.